I hope you've remembered to dress in black tie for this auspicious event, my 2024 Game Room Tour. Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly, and I haven't done one of these in about a year and a half. There's over 3,000 games down here, 80-something systems, I think. That seems right. Now, I only collect things I want to play, so there isn't a lot of filler down here. It's mostly decent enough games. And we're going to do this the way we did last time. We're going to take a lap around the room so you can get your bearings and see the way everything looks. And then after that, we're going to go through each section one at a time. So sit back and relax, and let's do this. We're going to start here this time. We started on the other side of the room last time. So this is the Kallax shelf where I keep my collector's editions and other various things that are just too big to fit anywhere else. So up here we have big boxes. That's an Atari 2600 box in the back. Then like a Gun Con and a Steam Deck and a PSVR and a bunch of boxed consoles. Most of these have consoles in them. They're like backups. I do have two PlayStation 2 boxes up there because I have a Japanese one. But here's the big box PC stuff. Alone in the Dark 2 here, and Gish and Freddy Farkas. These are all sealed, which is just kind of weird that I found them that way. Diablo, Icewind Dale. Multiple copies of Diablo 2. You gotta have both the normal and the battle chest. Here's Phantasmagoria. This is my favorite adventure game of all time by Roberta Williams. Really creepy, full motion video kind of game. But it has like, I think 7 CD-ROMs in it. Huge game. A lot of fun. These little mini arcade games you get, they're fine or whatever. You get them at like drugstores and stuff. But they are great bookends. They're great to like keep your stuff from falling over. So I always pick them up for like $1 or $2 at yard sales when I see them. These are all sealed. These are from a company called IndieBox that went out of business. But they made monthly subscription indie games, and you'd pay per month and they'd send you a game. They're the first ones to ever put out like a physical copy of Hollow Knight or Guacamelee or Dust and Elysium Tale, or Nuclear Throne, or Lovely Planet, or Axiom Verge, or Banner Saga. They put all those out, and I had them like years physically before they came out on any other consoles. Collector's Edition of Hollow Knight. This is a PSX. This is that rare console in Japan that played PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. It was also like a DVR and would let you collect gameplay footage. But the freaking hard drive is like encrypted to just the system, and every one of these in the world is broken as far as I know. I've seen like one that ever worked. PSVR, and then Death Smiles, one of my favorite shoot 'em ups. Lots of cool stuff down here. There's the Fire Emblem Fates Collector's Edition on the, what did that come out on? The 3DS? It's pretty good. There's the Psycho Collector's Edition that I can't show the front of the cover of because it has like a half-naked woman on it. I have the Battle Garega PS4 Japanese Collector's Edition and the Limited Runs one. Limited Runs one. That's not so dumb. But this Japanese version didn't come with a disc. It was a download code. I love paying like $150 for a Collector's Edition and then it not even having a freaking copy of the game in there. That's great. I had to leave it sealed. Stanley Parable, that's a pretty great one too. And then this is my wife's Switch stuff that she never touches. This is where I keep all my handhelds. It's hard to see in there, but that's the Anbernic. That's like a emulator system, but the Micro and the 3DS and the Vita and the 3DS, the other 3DS, 2DS, XL, and everything all the way to like, I don't know. There's a bunch of Game Boys back there and stuff. There's my Neo Geo MVS arcade stick and another one with the Celeste Collector's Edition, then like the big Darius Collector's Edition. This is all my Intellivision stuff down here. Nobody cares about that, but I do like the Intellivision. There's the Undertale Collector's Edition. There's a new edition since the last one of these. That's the Action Max games. These are VHS cassette tapes. And the whole system is done on VHS, which is crazy. And then some strategy guides. This is where I keep my controllers charging. Here's where my daughter piles up all the Switch controllers. Okay, here we go. This is a full Vectrex set. If you've never seen the Vectrex, it looks like this. It has a screen built into it, and the reason why is it's a vector-based screen. So instead of drawing pixels, it draws lines. I love the Vectrex. It doesn't have a huge set, but it's really hard to get because of these three 3D games. 3D Crazy Coaster, oh God, focus. 3D Crazy Coaster, 3D Mindstorm, and 3D Narrow Escape. There's a couple of homebrews and multi-carts for it. In here, and I won't pull it out because it's too delicate, but the Vectrex has a 3D headset. They would have these spinning discs that had like red and blue segments on them. And they were designed to work in conjunction with those 3D games, almost like those 3D glasses you would get out of comic books when you were little. Anyway, very rare, hard to find. It works, but you have to kind of cross your eyes like a magic eye book. It gives you a bit of a headache. Here's my Sega CD stuff. I love the Sega CD. I had it when I was a kid, but I didn't really build up my collection until it was too late and it got too expensive. But some standouts. This is a fun game no one ever mentions. Panic. It's kind of just like click on interesting things and watch this little boy die in mysterious ways. Very cool. And then of course you have to have Shining Force CD as well. That's a classic on the system. And then here's my US Sega Saturn stuff. My favorite game I have on this system by far is Dragon Force. Love this game. I think it's really cool. A lot of fun. I beat it twice, but it's done by Working Designs, and all their stuff's getting really expensive. Here's the Japanese Sega Saturn stuff, which I have a bunch of it. You can buy this stuff in Japan for like free. They're giving it away. But I have it split into two categories. which stops right here on X-Men. Everything to the left I can play in Japanese. It doesn't require Japanese. And then everything to the right of here I can't play because I don't speak Japanese. So there you go. That's how it's organized. Here's my 3DO stuff. Love the 3DO. It's a really cool system. Underappreciated, but it's gotten really expensive to collect for. And it's hard to find everything in good shape in the boxes. When I was a kid, of course, like everybody else, I played a bunch of Twisted, which is this crazy kind of game show sort of game. It's a lot of fun. You can knock it out in about an hour. I played it with my wife a couple years ago, and she said it was the worst experience she'd ever had playing a game in her life. So I feel bad about that, but it's still cool. Here's my TurboGrafx 16 stuff. There's some good things in there. Nothing too crazy. And then here's the PC Engine stuff. Some heavy hitters in there, but it's pretty cool. PC Works did that. That's like a reproduction. But where is it? This right here. This is the best pack-in of all time, and I just put it in this case. But it has Gates of Thunder, Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge, and Bomberman on it. So that I would charge anybody to find a better pack-in game than that. Now here's the part that I always dread. Whenever I'd see a game room tour, I always hate this. Here's my Switch stuff. What the crap? You can't even tell what anything is. It's just red. Here's just red. Look at it. But there's some good stuff in here. I'll try to get close so you can see what it is. I've got most of the big stuff, including like Arcade Love plus Pango, which I thought was the rarest game I ever owned until they reprinted it like 15 times. But there's some good stuff in here. There's good stuff in here. I'll pull out some of the Japanese ones. That's Raturgy Swag and Illumatic Envelope. That was a game that was supposed to come out in the United States, and they put it up for pre-order and then stole everybody's money and never put it out. That's Romalia's Scarlet Symphony. That's a Metroidvania. It's supposed to be pretty decent. I haven't played it. Like I said, I'll play everything randomly, and I'm down on my knees at the moment. Overlord, Escape from Nazareth. Oh yeah, Rolling Gunner. Fantastic shoot 'em up. Or so I've heard. Of course, I haven't played it. Here's kind of like the little collector's edition Switch stuff. Here are the two, everybody always asks about these, the two like adult-only hentai shoot 'em ups on the Switch. I buy every shoot 'em up that comes out because I love it so much. And these are really fun games. They're good games. It's a shame that like they're porn-based and you can't really play them or show them anywhere, and you have to hide them because you're too embarrassed. But they would stand up on their own even if they were just non-porn based. I have to pull this out because I think this is the prettiest game box I've ever seen. This is the Gris Collector's Edition. Has this like matte foil look to it, but I just love that. It's a great game too. You can beat it in like an hour. Some more stuff. Pull this guy out here. What is this? What is it? Oh no. Oh, that's the Telenet shooting collection. It has Guy Aris and a few others on it. There's the Xenoblade 2 Collector's Edition, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, Volume 1, and then the Fire Emblem Three Houses Collector's Editions. All very cool. I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses. Then here's some like NES and Super Nintendo, not reproductions, but re-releases. We got Metal Storm there, Holy Diver above it, and then there's the R-Type 3 and R-Type, Super R-Type Super Nintendo Collector's Editions. And there's the Gold Star 3DO. I had the FZ10, the Panasonic one when I was a kid, but I haven't been able to find one of those boxed yet. And the box is really ugly too. It's a Panasonic MSX console. It's a rental copy of, I think, Wheel of Fortune up there. A couple of PlayStation 2 era light gun games. My boxed Jaguar. Another one's little handhelds, and then a Nintendo 64. All right, let's do some Nintendo games. I got all my boxed games at the top. There's all the Lolo games. Various stuff. Nothing too crazy. Crash and the Boys Street Challenge. That's a really fun game if you haven't played it. Good old Fester's Quest. Guardian Legend. I think this is the best game, or one of the best games on the Nintendo. It's like a Legend of Zelda mixed with a shoot 'em up. Like, what is there not to like, you know? Fantastic. And of course, you got a complete box Zelda. Going back the other way, sorry guys. These are just out of order. These are Power Pad games. I just kind of stuck those on there recently when I picked up a Power Pad finally. This is a reproduction. I tried streaming this. I just finished this game, but it's Sweet Home. This is the US translation, and this is like a homebrew. Fantastic game, but kind of hard to play without a guide. Shatterhand complete in box. There's Action 52 from AVGN fame. These are the two limited run re-releases of these. Here's Rekka. This is a US homebrew release of that. Fantastic shoot 'em up that plays incredibly fast. You would never think this would work on the NES, but it totally does. And then you got Chiller back there. Very creepy game that, of course, Nintendo would have never released, so this is an unlicensed game. But like, it's a light gun game that involves like a torture chamber. So you're just like blasting the crap out of naked people. It's weird. Anyway, here we go. Diving into the games. I've got a pretty big NES collection. It's one of my bigger collections for sure. Got the 3 Adventure Island games here. The third one's gotten really expensive. I just did a video of like the hardest games I've ever played, and 2 different people mentioned this game. There's Amagon, there we go. I played this as a kid. I don't remember it being very tough, but who knows, man? Maybe I was wrong. Cruising along. There are about 650 baseball games on the NES. Not literally, but kind of literally. Like, there's just so many. There's just so many, dude. There's so many of them. Here's a semi-heavy hitter. Contra Force. I traded some loose Vectrex stuff for that. Clue Land. Here's one that was a hidden gem for a long time until Scott Pilgrim kind of brought it out. But Clash at Demon Head. Fun, really fun NES game. If you haven't played Clash at Demon Head, you're missing out. Of course, we got all the Castlevania games here. Then here in the middle is kind of like the semi-heavy hitters. We got Bomberman 2, and Bucky O'Hare, and Chubby Cherub, Kickmaster, Swamp Thing, Mighty Final Fight, Gun Knack, which I just picked up for $330. Oh God, it's dark. Here we go. Felix the Cat. What's back here? What is this? Toxic Crusader. Zombie Nation. Interesting shoot 'em up where you play the head of a severed head of a samurai. And Gargoyle's Quest 2. We'll keep going. Here we go. Ugh. Sorry guys, man, my knees can't do it. Also, this tuxedo, I'm not gonna lie to you, is really freaking hot. There's Hatris. That's just Tetris with hats. That's a pretty uncommon freaking game, and nobody ever mentions it. They're like, I really want Little Samson. I gotta have Little Samson. Well, I don't have Little Samson. Do I want it? Yeah, of course I want it. But like, Hatris is as uncommon as Little Samson, and nobody ever mentions Hatris. You know why? Because nobody wants to play it. Nobody wants to freaking play it. It's Tetris with hats, dude. Did I even freaking do this row yet? It's just, I can't even read what the games are on the viewfinder, so I have to keep like looking over the top of the camera to see what I'm actually looking at. And then I'm like, then I can't see if the camera's in focus or if the camera's lined up. I don't know if anybody watches these freaking things anyway. They just kind of like put it on the background and go to sleep. If you've made it this far and you're liking the content, and I hope you are, consider subscribing to the channel. If you're awake and all, most people are not awake when they watch these. They put them on to go to sleep. But if you are awake, I appreciate it. Let me know that you're awake down in the comments. The last time I did one of these videos, it got about, well, it was my best performing video till here recently, but it got about 35,000 views and it was 2 hours long. And about 30% of people watched it all the way to the end, all 2 hours of it. And then about 92% of people watched it maybe the first minute or so, which was crazy. That's like the best I've ever had for any video of retention. But I wonder if it was like because I was wearing a tuxedo. Anyway. There's all the unlicensed games down there, dude. I've got like tons of them. I don't have Tengen Tetris, but I've got like a lot of really uncommon ones. Like, here's one you never see. Not even AVGN did one on this. Death Race. There's the Famicom disk system stuff. I'm not going to pull it all out. If you want to know more about it, I'll do a video about it. But a lot of this stuff, guys, I have done collection videos of. So if you want to know more about these PlayStation 2 games, there's a collection video that I just did not that long ago. I've got a lot of freaking heavy hitter PS2 stuff. I've done a Switch collection video. I've done a TurboGrafx one. That's Dodonpachi Daiojo. That just got a PS4 and Switch release, re-release. Fantastic game. There's all the Fatal Frames. God Hand, of course. That's one I've got on my list to go back and play because everybody's telling me I need to play it. What is this? Oh, that's good old Mushihime-sama, which also just got a Switch release. It's always fun when you pay like $100 to pick up a game and then it like re-release it 3 months later. There's Kuon. Kuon is the rarest and most expensive PlayStation 2 game, guys, in case you don't know. Goes for about... Still got the price on the back of it. Let's see. Yeah, there's what it goes for. $850. Pretty decent. I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. Katamari Damacy. This is my favorite video game cover of all time, I think. I just love the zaniness of it with the rainbow and the cows and the big Katamari ball and just like Katamari in big letters right on the front. That's so cool. There's Haunting Ground, another heavy hitter. Haven't played it either. The Red Star is an underrated game. That's a hidden gem. If I've ever seen one, nobody ever mentions it. There's Rule of Rose. It was not $7, guys. Sorry, let me pull that off. That was from another video I filmed. I forgot to take it off. But I have played this and beaten it, and I did a review of it on this channel. I paid about 200 and something for that, I think. I think it goes for about 600 or 700 now. And this is the Gunstar Heroes and Alien Soldier and Dynamite Heady combo pack. It's all the Silent Hill games. We're playing Silent Hill 2 right now on the stream, guys. These are just loose or ripped Dreamcast games that I have in these universal game cases. Some of these have the games in there. Some of them don't. When I got my Dreamcast, the guy had ripped like the entire library of them. And the ones I want to get and actually play, I kept copies of until I find the real ones. But I haven't gotten them all yet. More cool stuff. All the Xenoblade games. Not Xenoblade, Xenosaga, which I think is related to Xenoblade. There's some semi-heavy hitters in here. There was a time in my life where I'd be pulling out like every $50 game, being like, holy crap, guys, look, here's a $50 game. And now I'm just like, whatever. Here's the GameCube stuff. My GameCube collection is not huge. Alien Hominid, and there is a collection video of this. This is sealed. I need a loose copy of it. But Eternal Darkness, my favorite game on the system. Killer 7's a fantastic game. I just did a review about that, or not a review of it, but I had it in a video. All the Zelda stuff, a bunch of Mario Party stuff. But the GameCube came out when I was in college, guys. And I love the GameCube, but I did not own one. My ex-girlfriend from the time owned one. This is the Game Player, sorry, the Game Boy Player startup disc with the sleeve and the manual. I pieced that together, actually, from stuff I just found. I didn't even have to go out of my way to get it. Anyway, there's the beginning of the Xbox stuff. Here's my Nintendo 64 stuff, guys. I'm not going for a complete N64 collection. I've got all the games I want for it, including... What the freaking crap is the name of that game? I can't even remember the name of it. What is the name of it? Sin and Punishment. There it is, Sin and Punishment. Anyway. Anyway, my girlfriend owned the GameCube. And when we broke up, she kept all my GameCube games. So everybody's like, I'm nostalgic for the GameCube. When I think of the GameCube, I think of this terrible girl that broke my heart and stole all my freaking games. So I'm not super nostalgic for it. But here's another system I'm not nostalgic for. The original freaking Xbox, which the only game I ever played on it till I started collecting was Halo. That was in college as well. But dude, nobody's collecting for the Xbox. And believe it or not, it has a lot of really good games on it. I've been beefing it up while it's cheap. And like, I probably have doubled the size of my original Xbox collection this year. And I've spent like $150. It's been crazy. We're down to the Vita stuff. Speaking of down, I'm down on my flipping knees again. There's Breach and Clear. That was the very first limited run games release. PSP stuff. More Castlevania. Love Castlevania. I have a bunch of these like shoot 'em ups collections on the PSP. Like here's the Gradius collection, and here's the Parodius Portable collection. And dude, as much as I love those and having all those games, I freaking hate playing them on the PSP. Like the D-pad's terrible, the screen's small. There's the Persona 3 Portable, which just got a release on like every console under the sun. There's the Twin Bee shoot 'em up collection. There's 3 of them. But man, you can plug your PSP into the TV, guys, which is the way you should play it. But it like puts it in this tiny little box in the center of the screen. And it makes it hard to play. And you have all these freaking wires hanging out everywhere. Here's my Jaguar collection. I have a lot of Jaguar stuff. I kind of like the Jaguar. I had it when I was little. I got it on clearance when it was like basically free. Like, good God, there's that price sticker from the Rule of Rose. It fell out of my hand. It was like $20 for the console, and then you could pick up the games for $5 a piece. And I bought a bunch of them, then sold it. And then now that I've gotten older, I've started picking them back up. But dude, like Rayman, that was the game I got for my Jaguar, and I paid $5 for that crap. And then when I bought it this time, I had to pay like $120. It never ends. It never ends. Here's some more of those little plug-in plays. They're just hanging out up there. That's the Persona 5 Collector's Edition, the Take Your Heart one that originally came out. I kind of wish I'd waited to play Royal, but I didn't. Sorry. But here's the start of my Super Nintendo stuff. You got, it's like, much like the Switch, Super Nintendo's hard to film because it's so small, but there's ActRaiser, Axelay, Battletoads, Castlevania Dracula X. This is a homebrew Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes. I don't know what the deal is with that. Demon's Crest. It's supposed to be a really good one. I have the full Demon's... Sorry, guys. It's so dark in here. Full Demon's Crest saga, I guess. Which spans 3 systems. The Game Boy, the NES, and the Super Nintendo. And then going down to my boxed stuff. Some neat stuff. Some of this is re-releases. Like, that's a re-release. That's a re-release. That's a re-release. But all these other ones are original. And then here's my 4 boxed N64 games, which just hang out over here. And these are manuals. I have like a box, guys, of manuals, probably like 200 manuals. But these are manuals to games that I actually own that are in this room that there's just nowhere to put the manual. So I'll leave them there. There's Zelda, Kirby, Secret of Evermore, Super Mario RPG, which is really kind of the heavy hitter till they just re-released it on the Switch, like always. There's some Famicom stuff. Then here's just the loose Super Nintendo. I mean, there's so much crap in here, guys. It's just unbelievable how much there is. So much stuff. Run Saber right here is kind of a uncommon game nobody ever talks about anymore, but it's done by Atlas, and it's like a Contra style game. Pretty fun run and gun. I was able to beat it. I don't think it's as hard as Contra. There's Sunset Riders. I think that is the best game on the Super Nintendo, or my favorite game on the Super Nintendo. Congratulations, there's some Famicom, Super Famicom stuff you can't see because it doesn't have any freaking end labels. Then Super Metroid, of course. Then we got some boxed NES and boxed Game Boy Advance stuff. This is a new Game Boy game. It's a survival horror game called Phobos Dare GB that just came in, and this looks really cool. I can't wait to play that. My handheld collection is not huge, guys. I've never been like a giant handheld gamer. I've always preferred to play on like a console, but I've gotten more into it now, and so I'm having to go back and get these after the fact. But I'm just starting to pick up the Castlevania DS games. Looking forward to those. I don't think there's anything really crazy in here. There you go, you can see it. All right, I'm getting back up. All right, up here on the top. 2DS boxed. That's a complete in-box sealed Game Boy Advance there, Platinum Edition. I never really even opened it. Found it at my wife's house just sitting in a drawer. They said I could have it. Box Duo R. Box TurboGrafx 16. 3DS. There's a limited run re-release of Shantae. A boxed Vita. A boxed... What was that? The Wii U, Super Nintendo, some more of those handhelds. Some more of those handhelds. That's a retail only. Let's find a good angle on it. That's the retail display of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth for the Switch, which I love to have. I used to say it was my favorite game of all time until they ruined it, but here we go. Box NES. Xbox, another Switch, Dreamcast. That silver PS2 up there is sealed. It's brand new. And this is the re-release of Truxton and Fire Shark and Twin Cobra maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, it's the Toa Plant Collector's Edition. You can kind of see back there. All right. Back this way. Here we have my Xbox One stuff. The Xbox One is one of the few consoles I have regretted buying. It just doesn't have any games on it I want to play. I've played a handful of them. I've played a lot of these, but like there's just nothing that interests me. Like when I go to the store to shop, I just don't even look at Xbox stuff or Xbox One stuff. Here we're getting to the Xbox 360 collection. I got a lot of heavy hitters on the 360. Most of the big ones, I'd say. A Kai Katana, great cave horizontal shoot 'em up. Blades of Time, we just did a video on that. There's the two Dodonpachi games. Duke Nukem Forever, not a great game, but not as bad as everybody said it was. Divinity 2. So Baldur's Gate 3 just came out and everybody loves its Game of the Year. The company that did that, Larian, before they did that, they did Divinity Original Sin. Well, those were spin-offs of this game. So Larian that did Baldur's Gate 3 did this. I think it's supposed to be terrible. Speaking of terrible, here's the best, worst game ever, Deadly Premonition. We got Dead Space. All the interesting ones. I find the Xbox 360 library to be really interesting. Normally when people see stuff like Darkest of Days, oh God, it's going to fall. When they see stuff like Darkest of Days, they're like, that's going to suck. That's going to be a terrible game. Well, let me tell you, it is. It is a terrible game. But it's a lot of fun, man. Where else are you going to find oh my God, an achievement for punching a horse in the face and knocking it unconscious at the Battle of Little Bighorn? Nowhere. That's where. There's Bullet Soul. The Earth Defense Force games, which are a lot of fun. El Shaddai. There's the Escatos collection. Now this is a good shoot 'em up, but on here is also two, Wonder Swan games, Judgment Silver Sword, and What the crap is the name of that game? It's based around like the 7 deadly sins. Cardinal sins, that's it. And they're even better than this. So the little extras they threw in were the best part of it. Escaluda 2, Eternal Sonata. That was the first Xbox 360 game I ever bought. Boy, whew. It's not a good one for your first one. It was fine. I shouldn't talk about it like it's so bad. All the Gears of War games, they're fun. They're still great. Left 4 Dead 2, also still great. King of Fighters. Halo Land. Guitar Hero Land. Grand Theft Auto Land. Man, this whole like shelf is just full of like AAA stuff nobody cares about. And then it's like Ginga Force. Like a weird, obscure, shoot 'em up Japanese RPG. And then we're going to skip over the PlayStation 1 stuff. But we're going to go down to here. There's Lollipop Chainsaw. Magna Carta 2. This is one that I feel like should start getting rare, but like nobody ever mentions it. Mushihime Sama Futari. That's the best shoot 'em up of all time. In case you were wondering, guys. That's it. That's Muchi Muchi Pork, Pink Sweets, another shoot 'em up bundle. Muchi Muchi Pork's a kind of an okay game. Pink Sweets is notorious for being impossible to play. Like nobody got the 1 credit clear on that in the arcade in like 25 years without doing this like glitch to give yourself infinite lives. But this version includes a arrange mode where they change the rules, and that arrange mode's like a 9 out of 10 awesome, dude. I love it. It makes it one of my favorites of all time, or shoot 'em up experiences. 99 Nights. Resident Evil stuff. Record of Agarest War, which I tried way back in the day, I want to get back into. The Raiden Fighters Aces compilation. Those have the Raiden Fighters Aces shoot 'em ups on it, and they are fantastic, especially Raiden Fighters Jet. Portal's a great game. I mean, everybody loves it, but it's still underrated. Operation Darkness, another Atlas RPG. And like I said, guys, there's a collections video on this. So if you want to know more about all these and hear me talk about every single freaking one of these games in exhaustive detail, go find that Xbox 360 video on my channel. There's 3 of them where I go over this crap. And you can learn all about it. You can learn all about it. But I have like pretty much all the heavy hitters on the Xbox 360 that I know of, I think. Here, we'll do the PlayStation 1 collection here. It's another one. Alundra. And it's hard to film as well, because there's just freaking like black labels, dude. Brigandine's a great tactical and strategy RPG. Clock Tower. Death Trap Dungeon. Reviewed that on the channel. Einhander. Elemental Gearbolt, which I want to play. Everybody's been telling me I need to play it. Had it forever. It's in the backlog, man. I play everything randomly. It takes a while to get to it, but I always get to it. Cardia, Kingsfield, Kudelka. There we go. This is the first game in the, oh man, Shadow Heart series on the PlayStation 2. Metal Gear Solid. Skipping ahead. Look at this. I'm filming the TV of my old game room tour. I'm using it as a timer to see how fast I'm moving. Probably not very. Misadventures of Trombone. Found that at a thrift store. It's like the best find I've ever found at the Salvation Army. Everybody's like, I found everything at the Salvation Army. Not me, dude. I found that one game that one time. That was pretty much it. I'm breathing heavy. Sorry, guys. I'm bending over. I'm freaking tired. It's hot as freaking crap in this tuxedo. Here's Shadow Tower. Scary cover. That's part of the Kingsfield series, which is part of the Dark Souls series, in a way. Silent Hill. The Suikoden games. Tactics Ogre. Time Crisis. Tomba, Thunder Force, Vandal Hearts, Wild Arms, Vib Ribbon, You Don't Know Jack. Here's an interesting one I picked up not that long ago. So I mentioned Vib Ribbon. There it is. Looks like garbage, but that's the way it looks. This is a vector-based rhythm game where you can pop in your own music, and this little guy walks across this line, and you have to do basically like Guitar Hero prompts along with the rhythm of the music to make him jump over gaps and stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, well, we'll just do this. Here's my TV. This is a, I guess it's like about a 65-inch. This is a, what is it, a freaking LG C1 or whatever, 4K TV. It's been a good one. I have like the 78-inch one upstairs. I really enjoy them a lot. Sound bar to go with it. But we got the, there's nothing like, look at it. This is a freaking PlayStation 4, regular, the Switch dock, a PS5, the Xbox One, the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii U. All the stuff that connects with HDMI basically goes down here. And here's the PS5 collection. There's some good stuff on the PS5. Afterimage looks really cool. But so far, it's been mainly me picking up like survival horror games. I feel like that's everything that's on there is just survival horror. Good old Elden Ring. But a lot of these are kind of obscure games, like God of War Ragnarok. Like, no one's ever freaking heard of that crap before. But I am pumped to play Ghost of Tsushima. The one I'm most excited about to play, the game I think in this world, is Control. Everybody's just been raving about that, and I can't wait to get to it. I'm going to have to burn a gold star to play it. Inscription's another one I'm really excited about. In case you guys missed it, Resident Evil 4 right there, the remake, made my game of the year this year. And Resident Evil Village was my number 2. It was my runner-up. 2 Resident Evil games right back to back. Lots of cool stuff. And I've been freaking playing The Binding of Isaac Repentance right here. I'm probably like 300 hours into it on the PS5, and I'm like halfway done with it, dude. It just goes on forever. All right. I'll back up so you can see this. This is my freaking PS4 collection, and it is by far, not by far, but it's, I can't even get it all in frame. It is my biggest collection. I have like, I'm nearing 500 games for it. I still love it. They're still putting them out, but let's go through it. I'll pull out a few here and there. Tons of stuff from like limited run games. There's the Aleste collection, really cool. If you haven't picked it up, you're a shoot 'em up fan. Batsagun. This is done by City Connection, right there. City Connection. If you ever want a company to just ruin a port of a game, get them to do it. But I've heard that one's pretty decent, so. There we go. There's Blasphemous. Blasphemous 1 and 2. Wait a freaking second. Did I just see Blasphemous back here? What was this? Oh, it was on the PS5. Never mind. Bloodborne, which is just, there's Control again. I got it sealed on the PS4, and then I was like, I want to play the PS5 version. This is the freaking terrible City Connection release of Cotton, which doesn't even work. It just does not even work. It's got like 10 frames of lag, but Cotton Rock and Roll apparently works great. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Another shoot 'em up. Crisis Wing. Firewatch. Final Fantasy stuff. Fatal Frame stuff. Had to import that. But this is just like, guys, it's just so much. It's so much, man. There's a hidden gem. Donut County. It's kind of like Katamari, except you play as a hole in the ground and you soak stuff up. I had a great time with that. And so I had a great time with this too. Disaster Report 4. If you haven't played the Disaster Report games, guys, you got to try them out. It's just you basically trying to escape a city after some natural disaster, but all this weird stuff happens. Like you'll get kidnapped. You have to help a sushi person find fish to keep their restaurant open in the middle of the crisis. Really bizarre stuff. What do we have here? Oh, this is the Game Paradise, Cruise and Mix. Another shoot 'em up. So many, so many. And then once again, we have freaking, where is it? Ghost of Tsushima sealed here, but I went ahead and got the PS5 version on top of it. This is Same collection. This is the, I guess it's like Fire Shark and I can't remember the other one. But some more shoot 'em ups done by M2. It Takes Two. I just finished this. Took me like almost 3 years to finish that with my wife, but we did it. This is the best port of any game I've ever seen. This is Ketsui Destiny. Sounds dumb. Destiny, it's like Destiny. But Ketsui is one of the best shoot 'em ups of all time. And M2, when they ported it over to the PS4, just absolutely killed it. They gave you all these awesome training modes that really slowly ramp up the difficulty to really train you how to beat it. And it's one of the hardest games ever. But with their training modes, it makes it like manageable. There's the Ray Z Arcade Chronology. Some more shoot 'em up compilations. Here's some more of them. These are the Psycho shoot 'em up compilations. They're much better on the PS4 than they are on the Switch. I bought them on the Switch freaking 2 other times, and they suck so bad they're basically like unplayable. Like the bullets come so fast and there's so much input delay that by the time the freaking bullets are shown on screen, you're already dead. Like they fired, appeared on screen, hit you and killed you, and then the delay passes by and you actually see it happen. It's really annoying. Red Dead Redemption 2, all the Resident Evil games, Retro City Rampage. There's some good stuff in here, man. I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, dude. Remember that game? That game was good. There's the Shantae games, which I've played like one of. I have them all, and I played one. This is one I'm really excited about. Now, this is a survival horror game. It's done in like the old Resident Evil style, Signalis. I got this, I guess, last year sometime, or maybe earlier this year, but I really want to play this. What even is this? Ah, yes. Sisters Royale, and the name of it's like something like, I think it's like Sisters Royale, help there are 7 sisters who want to hurt me and I don't know what to do, or something like that is the literal title. Slay the Spire, I will go out of my way and say this. I've said it every time. This is the best deal for a video game you can ever get. This game's unbelievably fun. It's hundreds of hours of playtime. I paid $7 for this brand new. And I'm sure it's not much more than that now, but it's so, so good. More stuff. There's a lot of freaking crap down here. What Remains of Edith Finch is a really... Oh, God, I can't even speak. What Remains of Edith Finch is a really fun one. And there is a full PS4. There's Tiger Hilly, another one of these compilations. There is a full PS4 collection video series on my channel. Just like a lot of these, you can go through and watch it. See more about every one of these games. What is this? Another one, Zero Fire compilation. This has Zero Wing and Fire Shark. Oh my God, go in. Down on my knees again. There's the one with that hollow foil thing is. That's the Bloodstained Kickstarter backer edition, which I did. It's the only thing I've ever kickstarted. This is the Dark Souls trilogy. This is Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. And it has the complete editions of all 3 games with the DLC on disc. And I bought this in case I ever wanted to play it ever again and play the DLC. And the freaking thing is expensive as crap now. You can't open it up. So I guess I'll just buy the DLC like everybody else. There was Natsuki Chronicle. I won't even mention it because that freaking company makes me so mad. I pre-ordered about $500 worth of stuff, $600 worth of stuff from them. First press games. They still haven't shipped it. It's been sitting there like 4 years. They just stole our money. They stole everybody's money, man. Anyway, there's the PS4 stuff. All right. This little shelf here, it's not really little, but this shelf here, it's just kind of a display shelf. I need something to put in this corner, so I put kind of stuff that is interesting and means something to me or just looks really cool. So that's a complete in box Vectrex up there. Like I said, I have the full set. Every full set needs a complete in box copy of the console. That is the Castlevania Requiem Collector's Edition. That has Castlevania Symphony of the Night and the other one. What is it? Castlevania Rondo of Blood, the one from the PC Engine. That is the very first Castlevania game, guys. That's Vampire Killer on the MSX computer. Has the same cover art as the original Castlevania, and the original Castlevania came out first, but this one started it all off. This is the original, and it was in development before the first Castlevania, and it plays like almost like a Metroidvania, kind of like Simon's Quest, but way harder, way harder. I don't know why that Dark Souls is there. It's not supposed to be there. It's blocking the view of all the copies of Ikaruga, man. There's the GameCube, there's the Dreamcast, there's the PS4, there's some art that I got from somewhere, and then there's the last story. And then I guess we'll just freaking put Dark Souls over here. And then a box Castlevania 4 and Chrono Trigger. Nobody cares about those. Final Fantasy Tactics, Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue, Snatcher. That's the only version of that game I have. I would love to get the US version of it. And then Earthbound. And this is the Castlevania Collection Collector's Edition. Whatever. It's got all the Castlevania games on it. And there's Danganronpa. This was a limited run games release, and I got the limited edition because I thought it looked so cool and thought I would love the game, and I thought the game was kind of like just okay. It's a disco-based shoot 'em up. There's the Breath of the Wild Collector's Edition, box PSP, 32X, GameCube, a couple of Wii U games. Those are the only amiibos I own in the whole world right up there. Complete box Sega Saturn. And then, here's my freaking Sega Genesis stuff. There's the 30th anniversary of Advanced Buster Hawk Glay Lancer. Love that. This is Darwin 4081, another Mega Drive shooter. I've got some good Genesis stuff. Alicia Dragoon. Contra Hardcore. Guy Ares. Ghouls and Ghosts, and Sector X. Landstalker, Lightning Force. Toe Jam and Roll, just picked that up. Hyper Stone Heist. The Thunder Force game. Sunset Riders. Different than the Super Nintendo version, still equally as awesome. Steel Empire Splatterhouse. This is another one that I bought on the Genesis, and then they released a PS4 version of it like 3 months later. Still waiting for that one to come in. Sonic, Rocket Knight Adventure, Shaq Fu, the Road Rash games, Ranger X, Helios. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the re-release from Strictly Limited of Panorama Cotton. This is the most impressive looking 16-bit game I've ever seen. You could pull it off for a 32-bit game all day long, but I actually beat this and got the 1 credit clear on it. Happy about that one. Mutant League Football. Troubleshooter. This is a heavy hitter on the system. I got that at the Southeast Game Exchange from a dude that was just clearing out his stuff, and I paid like, I don't even think I paid $100 for it, and I got home and looked it up. I didn't know it was worth like hundreds of dollars. Action 52. These are in Universal Game cases. I used to have all my loose games in these Universal Game cases, and it took up so much freaking room. And I got so tired of printing out the covers and paying for ink that I just quit doing it. But these I let stay around. I'd already printed them. But all the other ones I sold, got rid of them. And then here's the 3 loose Genesis games I have. Then sitting in on the PS3 stuff. People love PS3 stuff. I like the PS3 a lot. 3D Dot Game Heroes. This game got up over $150 during COVID. Now it's down to like 50. What do we have here? Oh, Caladrius Blaze, another shoot 'em up. One of those great Japanese games where you shoot the clothes off people. If that is your sort of thing, I feel like it's kind of like everybody's sort of thing that watches this channel, but there you go. Tracking Guard 3, Driver. What do we have here? Oh yeah, that's the Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara Tower of Doom edition. Kind of uncommon game. I've done several videos on that. You should be able to find them there somewhere on the channel. Basically, they have a different version in Japan, and then they put it on the disc, and then they delisted all the games digitally. So the only way to play that version of the game is on that disc. There's Ketsui. That was the game I said over here, Death Tenny, back on the PS4, was like the best port of all time. Here's the PS3 version of it. It's still a great game, not nearly as good on the PS3 as it is on the PS4. And this is an ultra rare game. This is Mamoru Kun Curse on the PS3. This is basically like a part of the Pocky and Rocky games. It plays just like them. I played this a little bit. I need to go back and play it some more, but glad to have this one. I didn't pay too much for it. I found it when I was in Japan. And then this was my holy grail PS3 game to get, which was Painkiller Hell and Damnation. It got up to like $300 for a loose copy, but they re-released it and published it and put it out on VGP. That this Canadian reseller reprinted this, and I was happy to grab it for like 60 bucks. The Puppeteer, this is another one of those that's like hard to find and kind of sought after that's totally worth it. This is a fantastic game. A lot of fun. Using little scissors to like cut through the scenery and stuff, and the whole thing is presented like a, I'll show it, the whole thing is presented like a stage performance, and I just loved that. I thought it was a fantastic game. Played it with my good friend. Here's another ultra rare one. Short Piece Rank of Tsukugime's Longest Day. And there is a PS3 collection video, guys, that I have on my channel, like a lot of these. You can go watch me talk about every one of these games. This is the Japanese Ico and Shadow of Colossus collection. So much better looking than the one we got. And then this is my daughter's stuff. This is what my daughter plays. We got Minecraft, Mario Kart, Kirby, Mario Party, she never plays that. Pokemon, she kind of plays it. Animal Crossing. Yoshi, Super Mario Odyssey. Then Stray, Last Dance, Lego, and some Disney stuff she never touches. But it's like 90% Minecraft, guys. It's just all Minecraft. I'm so tired of Minecraft. Here's my Master System stuff. I like the Master System. I had one when I was a kid. I don't get to play it very often. It just doesn't get picked because I don't have that many games for it. But whenever I get to play it, I'm thrilled to do it. I need to pick up more stuff for it. Here's some more games in Universal Game cases. Here's my one and only Nuon game. Yes, I have a Nuon. We'll talk about it in a minute. But this is all MSX computer stuff here. Aleste, Aleste 2, Aleste Gaiden, Hyper Race. This is Nightmare, very cool, primitive shoot 'em up, and then some really rare stuff here. Kyokugen and Pleasure Hearts. And then this, may have mentioned a little while ago, you heard me talk about Guardian Hero on the, or Guardian Legend on the NES was like one of the best NES games. Well, it's actually the sequel to this game, Gardic on the MSX computer. It's a super heavy hitter. It took me 5 or 6 years to find a copy of this. Thrilled to have it though. Came out in 1986. Then there's my 32X stuff. Okay. Down into the Wii. Baroque, that's an uncommon game. Castle of Shikigami. I've had multiple people tell me this is the rarest US release on the Wii. I don't know about that. I used to see it everywhere. Stuff like Coraline, I feel is like a lot harder to find. But the Wii gets a lot of flack, and rightly so, because it's full of like freaking terrible games. There's Fire Emblem. My copy I found didn't have the cover. So this is, I printed off a cover. I didn't want to cheat anybody, so I printed off like a weird international cover. But the game is real. Fragile Dreams is another uncommon game. But yeah, the Wii is full of tons of crap, but I don't know how many games are on the Wii, like probably 1,500 or something. But out of those 1,500 games, man, there's at least like 60 or 70 of them that are really good. I feel like I have them all, but I'm still learning about new games all the time on the Wii that I didn't know about. Some of the ones I want to go back and play are these Resident Evil light gun shooters. The Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles. I think I played through this one once with somebody, but I don't really remember it. It was one of those like hang out with your buddies and drink a bunch and let's play some light gun shooters kind of days. So, you know those kind of days. I don't remember what happened. None of them do either. And here's my Wii U stuff. Just a little bit. Everybody's into the Wii U, but it didn't really have a ton of games on it that I thought were going to be fantastic. I mean, it had a few, but I don't know. I'm trying to think what the best Wii U game I played was. Bayonetta 2 was great. Rayman Legends was really good. But I guess Resident Evil Revelations was really cool on this one. Because of the gamepad, that made it interesting. Alright guys, we're making progress here, I promise. I did a whole video where I put this freaking PC down here. There was, guys, like more shelves like this over here. I moved it all. I did a video. It was my favorite video I've ever filmed, and a lot of people said they really liked it. It was just putting this desk down here, and everything that had to go into that. It was a nightmare. But this is where I stream, and this is where I edit videos and stuff like that. I play everything when I stream on an old school Trinitron CRT computer monitor. We've been doing Silent Hill 2, and the PlayStation 2 is running right over here. And so it's going right over there. Here's my Castlevania Symphony of the Night collection. We got the PlayStation 1 version, the Saturn version, and the soundtrack back there. Just some random stuff up here, a little plug and play. And then there's the River City Girls 1, 2, and 0 collection that I got. And then here's just some complete in box TurboGrafx 16 stuff. Yo, Bro, Ninja, Spirit, Dynaforce, and then the Magical Chase. Everybody's got to have those, right? Everybody always asks about this art. This is from Dark Souls. This is Sif, the Great Wolf, Great Gray Wolf, I guess they called him. But these, I got these off Etsy. The company that puts these out is called Crowsmack. And these are like hand-lathed paper, like high-quality prints done the way they did like movie posters in the 1940s. And then I got them framed. I think they look really great. I love them. People always ask about them. But if you guys want to know, Crowsmack does hundreds of posters for tons of different games and movies and all kinds of stuff. So you can go on Etsy and find those really easily. They're kind of expensive, but if you buy 3 or 4 of them at once, it's not too bad. Up there's the limited run games release of Windjammers on the PS4. Fantastic game. And then my arcade stick. This is my Neo Geo MVS stuff. We got Blazing Stars, Cross Swords, then all of the King of Fighters. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Oh my God, look at this. Oh no, dude. 97 and 98 are out of order. Ugh. 99, 2000, 2001. I need 2002. Then Magical Drop, the Multi-Cart, World Heroes. And then these are the limited run games re-releases of Neo Geo games that are put out on the PS4. This is the 80K collection. It has Twinkle Star sprites on it. Really hard to find shoot 'em up. And then Gary Mark of the Wolves. There's my Virtual Boy. There's Rob. Say hi, Rob. And then there's some more of those limited run things. You can't see them, but there's King of Fighters 2002 down there. I owned it. I mentioned I needed it. And there it is back there. Last Blade, Metal Slug, Anthology has all the Metal Slug games, and then all the Samurai Showdown games. Then a Game Boy collector's carrying case, and then some arcade sticks there. All right, we're almost there, guys, I promise. Complete in Box Master System, Sega CD, Genesis Model 2, Genesis Model 1. And then here are all my consoles. I keep them in these cases. I used to, like everybody else, have all this crap hooked up all the time, ready to go. But when you have kids, they like get back there and they screw with it and they unplug stuff and they trip over the cables and it's a big fire hazard. So I just took it all out, put it in this case, or these cases, these shelves, these bookcases, that's what they're called. And when I want one, I just pull it out right then. But there's the Atari Junior, it's AV modded. Then a Atari 2600. It's a Master System, a Pong console, the Watermelon N64, an Atari Jaguar, my Dreamcast, 3 Sega CDs, the 2 different versions of the Japanese one and an American one. I don't even know why that's there. There's another Gold Star 3DO, a PlayStation 1. That's the Call of Duty Xbox One that I found at a yard sale for free. A regular PS2 and a Japanese PS2, and then I have another PS2 that was hooked up over there. Here's a stack of PS3s. 2 of them are the backwards compatible ones with the PS2, and then just a slim. A couple of Xbox 360s in there. That's a Philips CDI. Spoiler for the video that's coming out probably next week, but this is a new console I picked up. This was refurbished by the last tech to ever work on the CDI at Philips. So it should be bulletproof and last forever, which is good because they're notoriously terrible. And there's my Nuon down there. And I won't get into what that is, but there it is. There's my complete Virtual Boy set. I have every Virtual Boy game, all of them, including a for realsies Jack Bros, which I paid $700 for. Woo, I did that on camera. And then a complete box Waterworld. This is my Sony Trinitron. This thing weighs like 220 something pounds. I don't even know what game's in there right now. Legacy of the Conqueror or something. I just grabbed something to have the TV on. It's been a great TV. It's really heavy. I wish I could get like a better stand for it, but this is the only thing I can find that'll hold it up. And it's a mess in here with wires and everything. I just hook up the one console that I'm going to be playing with. I just have my top loader NES in there right now. And so I wish it looked better down there. I got to think of something to do. I thought about frosting this glass or putting stickers all over it, but I haven't bit the bullet and decided yet. Here's all my Game Boy stuff, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. I've got good stuff in there. It's just hard to display. This used to be all in Universal Game cases, and they, no joke, filled up like a shelf that big just with these. And after I took them out, I mean, look how small it is now. It's one of those signs from Retrobeard. If you haven't checked him out, he makes all kinds of awesome signs like that for any console you'd ever want. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, there's that Vectrex. And then we got the Turbo Duo R, TurboGrafx 16, the Sega Genesis 32X, and Sega CD. There's my consoleized Neo Geo MVS. The SNES Junior, there's an Action Max hanging out back there. That's the console that uses the VHS cassette tapes. An Xbox, GameCube. That is the Sharp Twin Famicom. It plays Famicom games and the Famicom Disk System games. There's my Panasonic MSX computer. An old Intellivision. It's hard to see, but that is a Sega Game Gear that has been consoleized with HDMI out and plays like a Sega Master System. And then just a stack of freaking, what the crap is that? Another Atari, an Atari Vader, and then a freaking Xbox Elite. Okay, fine. Okay. There's another one of those Crosmack posters. This one's the Death Stranding one. I really liked that one, but it was my least favorite. I had to get one more to get like this buy 5, get it for 150 bucks deal or whatever. That's a Bloodborne store display. I've never seen one of those anywhere else. I got that from Best Buy. I basically stole it the day Bloodborne came out. They made me sit around and wait for my pre-order all day. Like I waited like an hour or something. And I just picked it up and walked out with it. I was like, they're paying me back. There's the GTA 4 Collector's Edition. Oh, and by the way, the guy at Best Buy, when I walked out with that, and was like, did you pay for that? And I was like, I just took it. It's just a store display. And he's like, oh, that's fine. He just let me have it. So I don't feel bad. There's my complete in box PS3. Now, this shelf is sort of a catch-all weird shelf. It's full of all kinds of weird stuff. PC, Dreamcast, Atari, and just whatever. But all the weirdest stuff I own seems to be on this shelf. Although it's the shelf nobody ever thinks to come look at. But it's full of like weird, uncommon, not well-known import PC games. Like the Acceleration of Siguri. Shoot 'em up. But we got Age of Empires, stuff like Air Raid. I mean, there's the physical edition of Binding of Isaac, the original Flash version of the game. Lots of crazy stuff. Here's Chorin Shah. That's a PC 98 game that is renowned, but never got a release anywhere else. Doki Doki Literature Club on PC. That's cool, huh? You ever seen that before? I actually messaged the company that put this out, and they made me this cover art for their game. Back when Team Silvato, that was it, and they like emailed it to me, and I printed this out. It's just a burned game, like, but I wanted to have it on the shelf because I thought it was such an amazing thing. But that's cool that they did that for me. Gone Home, Half-Life. These are some more of those indie box games you saw over there that I said was like a monthly subscription service. They went to these smaller boxes after a while. Here's the same thing with Zero Ranger. The company that put this out printed me up a cover. Love that. But I'm waiting for a physical version of that to come out. The Witcher, Just tons of like uncommon stuff. Civilization. Papers, Please, all the Myst games. And then here's my Dreamcast stuff. Some good stuff in here. Bang.io. There's Cannon Spike. I guess that's maybe my heaviest hitter on this system. Fun game though. An arena shooter. Elemental Gimmick Gear. Illbleed. This is one I was looking for. This is like one of my most sought after games, and I found it this year and actually got a good deal on it. I was willing to pay $300 and I got it for like $200, I think, or maybe $180. Can't quite remember. Some cool stuff in here. This is the Japanese version of Shenmue, but I have the US version disc only, and it's in here with the Japanese version. This is heavy, dude, because it's got like freaking 8 discs in it or something. Typing of the Dead. And these are just like loose PC games. I usually like to get my PC games in big box stuff, but you find these out and about, and you just kind of like keep them. It's too hard to like throw them away or get rid of them. Not throw them away. Just get rid of them. World of Goo. That's a fun one. I think it's getting a sequel here pretty soon. Some more weird Japanese PC shoot-em-ups. Here's my small CDI collection. Seventh Guest, Tetris, Tetsuo Gaiden. That's one of the few shoot-em-ups on the system. And then these are like Game Genies and lens cleaners and that sort of stuff. Now, I'm a huge fan of shoot-em-ups, as you may have gleaned, but there is a independent shoot-em-up collection or series in Japan called the Toho series, and these are all the Toho shoot-em-ups. I have every one of them, I believe. They're all weird. There's like, they have names like Scarlet Weather Rhapsody and Eternal Spirit of All Living Ghost or something. Anyway, there's not room for all of them to put out like that, but here's the rest of them. This is the latest one here. I'll pull it out. It's it's the 19th one in the series. And it's called, let's get into the light. This is Unfinished Dream of All Living Ghost. Just rolls right off the tongue. This right here is probably the rarest thing I own. This is Hellsinker. This is the only physical copy of this that was ever really put out. A legendary shoot-'em-up maker made his own indie homebrew game that he kind of sort of released on his website, which is now defunct, but he printed this and gave these out at like one convention one time. And for 15 years, people were like, oh my God, I would love to find a copy of that. I would love to find a copy of that. I want to play it so badly. You can't get the game anymore. You can't even illegally download it. Like, you can't find it anywhere. They recently put it out on Steam, but this is the only way to get the physical version. I paid 10 or 12 bucks for this, shipped from Japan. It doesn't even have a value. It could be worth between $10 and $5,000. Who knows? Who knows? I don't. But it actually probably is the rarest thing I own. I think it maybe had like 100 copies originally printed for a convention, and then, you know, everybody like threw it away. Right after they got home, they're like, oh, what is this trash? Boxed Atari 2600 stuff. I love the 2600. People like to give it crap, but it's still a lot of fun. Kaboom's fantastic. Gravatar's the hardest freaking game ever made. Pitfall, of course. And then I hate this. I complain about this all the time. This is the PS1 Action Replay disc. Why the crap is it in a DVD case? Why couldn't it be in a flippin' CD case, like the stupid PlayStation 1 game, so you could put it with it? You had to put it somewhere totally else. Totally else. Totally somewhere else. Here's my Atari 2600 stuff. And it's weird collecting for the Atari 2600 stuff because every game's like $1, and then all of a sudden you'll pick up some game like Custer's Revenge and it'll be like $100. But in general, pretty easy to collect for, pretty inexpensive. But there's a lot of bad stuff on the 2600, and then there's games like Pitfall 2 that are just fantastic. You'll have a great time with them. Or what's the one that flippin' Metal Jesus loves so much? Hero? Hero. Where's Hero? Hero's right there. This is a great game. Fantastic game. Always really fun. But you can play it on about 1 million different plug-in plays and stuff. You have to go out and get an Atari 2600 just to play it. We're going, dude. We're going. And then here's a bunch of these like weird magic games. They're like hard to see. And then more down here. I've just been stacking them as I pick them up down here. Now this over here. Oh God, what a disaster. I'm going to sit down on the freaking ground. All right, here we go. All this is Game Gear stuff. I never had any interest in the Game Gear whatsoever, and I got a message from Bucky one day, and he was like, hey, there's this woman, and she's selling an almost complete Game Gear collection. You want to go in on it with me? And we split it. He just wanted stuff to sell. I wanted all the rare games. So I picked up all the stuff I wanted on the Game Gear. But I bought all that stuff in like one go. Like I had 2 Game Gear games before that. It went from like 2 to like 150 in an afternoon. So kind of crazy. I've been enjoying it, playing it, but man, it's got a lot of stinkers on it too. And then there's Famicom stuff. The Famicom's really fun to collect for. It's inexpensive, but man, it's hard to tell what you've got. There's a bunch of good stuff in there and you'd never know it. But that's Kid Dracula. That's that cartoony Castlevania game. And I've got, a bunch of rare stuff in there. No one's going to want to see it though. If you do, let me know and I can do a video on it. And then there's Splatterhouse Waipaku Graffiti, which is like a Famicom chibi cutesy version of Splatterhouse, which is kind of cool. All right, we're getting up. We're almost done. This is my Ikaruga arcade cabinet. This is like a MAME cabinet. I have a Raspberry Pi in there running a bunch of ROMs and stuff. But it's Ikaruga themed with this wrap. If you've never played Ikaruga, it has this polarity system. So you have your dark polarity here, and then you press a button and you switch to the light polarity over here, which is kind of cool. And so I loved that idea, and I thought it'd be really cool for an arcade cabinet. So here we go. This only has arcade games on it. It doesn't have any console ROMs or anything. I wanted to leave it like a pure arcade experience. But I have to say, I don't really play this thing that much. It is fun, though. And then here's my one and only arcade one-up. It's the Final Fight one, and it has Final Fight, 1944, The Loop Master, Ghosts and Goblins, and Strider. There you go. Pretty cool. And then there's another one of those posters. That's Ornstein and Smo, or Smo and Ornstein. There's a little bit of art down here that I made. Then there's a Last of Us standee that I love. This hides cables. And I know, I hate the window unit, guys. Can't stand the freaking thing, but there's no better solution down here. I have air conditioning. There are vents in here. Right there, but they don't, the air doesn't run long enough down here to heat it or cool it the way it should because the thermostat's upstairs. So I just need a little something to help out. And that thing heats and cools. There's the Emerald Herald from Dark Souls 2. Fear the Old Blood from Bloodborne. And then Nier Automata. Pretty cool. And then this is the chair everybody sits in to play the arcade games. And then this is one of these X-Rocker gaming chairs. And this is like the most expensive one. And it's really good. It's got the speakers in it. It's very immersive. But I have to say, dude, the stitching, you can see here, the stitching is like, it's splitting. And I have not sat in this thing. I bet I've sat in it less than 50 times. And it's already fallen apart. This, on the other hand, let me tout this right here. This is the best gaming chair I've ever owned in my entire life. And this is a glider for a newborn baby. It's like when mothers have their babies, they get these glider chairs to sit in it to rock the baby to sleep when they're nursing and stuff. And it doesn't rock, it like slides back and forth. Okay. We bought one of these and it was defective. Like the back of the chair kept popping off or something. And just the rails where it snaps in were loose. All they needed to do was send us new rails, but the company sent us a whole freaking other chair. And I put it upstairs, and then the one with the busted rails, I just fixed the rails. My wife's like, oh, you can have it. It was free. So I stuck it down here, and Dude, let me tell you, between sitting in the X rocker, which was like $350, and sitting in this thing, which was free. I mean, the chair's like, I don't know, dude, like maybe $400 or $500. But mothers are always getting rid of these. No one wants them after they, like, you know, get done having a baby, because it's like ugly furniture that you don't want. But it works great. They're the best gaming chairs. So, if you have a chance to get a glider at a yard sale or something, give it a shot. They're not too shabby. Well guys, there's the 2024 Game Room Tour. I wanted to do it the same way I did the original one, out of tradition. I didn't want to do a bunch of cuts and fancy editing tricks. I wanted to just keep it like normal, like if I was walking around the room showing it to you myself. No one's gonna watch the end of this video, but if you did, I really appreciate it. That means the world to me. I don't know how long it is. It's probably not as long as the last one, because it's still playing on the TV. But probably like well over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. If you like the video and you want to see more of me in a more structured form, consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, give me a like, a thumbs up, all that sort of stuff. Click the bell notification so you know when the new videos come out. They come out every Saturday. And leave me a comment, I'll answer it. I would like to take this as an opportunity to thank the channel members. You can see their names on the screen right now. If you'd like to get your name on the screen, or leave a message in a video or sponsor a segment of a video, you can do that by going down to the description below and finding the link to join here on YouTube or on Patreon. They're the same thing. Get access to all the early videos and member exclusive videos. And every dollar goes right back into this channel. I appreciate it so much, guys. I appreciate you. And if you're a channel member or a Patreon supporter, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's fun to do one of these again. It's been a long time. And let me tell you, this is tiring filming these sort of things. Like getting up and down. My knees aren't as good as they once were. But I'll catch you guys next time.